Imagine being stranded deep in enemy territory, alone, hungry, injured, and hunted by ruthless captors with little hope of rescue. This is the incredible true story of a Navy pilot whose courage and determination defied impossible odds in the deadly jungles of Laos. Get ready to dive into a gripping tale of survival, resilience, and the unbreakable human spirit. This is the story of Dieter Dengler. Dieter Dengler is a German-born U.S. Navy pilot in Squadron VA-145, and his story unfolds in 1966 when the conflict in Vietnam is still in its early stages, with the U.S. adopting a strategy of bombing strategic targets in North Vietnam and trying to cut off supply routes in Laos. Dieter is on a routine mission in his A-1 Skyraider over Laos when his plane is hit after dropping its bombs, and Dieter is forced to bail out into hostile jungle territory where the Pathet Lao pursue him through thick jungle and eventually capture him. After a dramatic chase, Dieter resists capture for a while using survival skills that he learned during his training and from Navy informational videos, and when the Pathet Lao find him and take him into custody, they present him with a proposal from the province governor that if Dieter signs a document condemning America, it might spare him from harsh treatment. But Dieter, strong-willed and patriotic, flatly refuses. He is then tortured and taken to a jungle prison camp, where he finds himself alongside fellow soldiers and pilots who have been held there for years. Soldiers worn down by physical abuse, psychological pressure, and poor conditions in captivity. Dieter starts thinking about a way to break free from the camp, much to the disbelief of the other prisoners, many of whom have become weak, sick, and demoralized from years of abuse in the jungle. Some prisoners believe peace is just around the corner in Vietnam and that all the prisoners will soon be released if they wait it out, while others know there is no peace on the horizon and a breakout might be their only hope for survival. The prisoners are kept under heavy guard by 6 armed soldiers during the day, and at night their legs are tethered to a wooden log, making movement nearly impossible. But Dieter finds a way to break a nail off and fashion it into a makeshift lockpick, allowing the prisoners to free their feet at night when the guards aren't paying close attention. With this newfound freedom, Dieter starts to become more ambitious in his plans and talks to his fellow prisoners about escaping through the jungle toward the Mekong River and hopefully into Thailand. Some of the prisoners undermine the plan, threatening to sabotage it if the prisoners attempt to break out, believing it will destroy their chance of release. But Dieter and a few brave ones become more determined to find a way. Dieter starts saving food from his meager rations to prepare for the journey, and under cover of night starts exploring the camp's surroundings to find a viable route to freedom. The two realize their best chances during monsoon season, when heavy rain can mask their movements and allow them to travel without being easily followed. But the monsoons are unpredictable and the prisoners have to wait for the right moment. Meanwhile, food starts to grow scarce due to U.S. bombing campaigns, and the villagers who normally grow food for the soldiers find their fields destroyed. This scarcity makes the soldiers nervous, and they start to talk about killing all the prisoners and making it look like a failed escape. Dieter brings forward their plan, and it is decided that when the soldiers are busy dining in the mess, Dieter will steal their guns while the rest split into 2 groups to attack from different directions, hopefully surprising the soldiers and letting everyone break free. Eventually all the prisoners agree to the plan, but when the moment comes, only Dieter and a small number follow through. The rest disappear and are not seen again in the story. Much to Dieter's disbelief and dismay, Dieter is forced to curse those who betrayed their plans, believing it was their cowardice that kept everyone from escaping. But now it's just him and a few brave ones against the jungle and their captors. The two make their way toward the Mekong River, battling heavy rain, jungle creatures, and disease, growing weak and sick from their arduous journey and food scarcity, and eventually they are forced to discard their rifles and travel light. They find an abandoned jungle village where they take refuge, and in a desperate attempt to attract attention and a possible rescue, Dieter sets the whole place on fire, sending a huge column of smoke into the sky in the hope that it might be noticed by a U.S. aircraft. Instead of rescue, the smoke signals the villagers, who return, and in a dramatic and brutal scene the villagers attack and kill one of the prisoners while Dieter barely escapes with his machete and his life. Dieter finds himself alone and stranded in the jungle, weak, injured, and sick, battling all odds to stay alive. But then by a twist of fate, a U.S. aircraft spots him from the air and a rescue mission is launched. Dieter is retrieved by a U.S. helicopter, taken back to safety, and temporarily kept in a hospital due to the classified nature of his mission. But soon his fellow soldiers come for him, sneaking him back to their ship, where the crew welcomes him as a hero, honoring his survival and ability to conquer a nightmare scenario against all odds. Thank you for watching this recap of Dieter's remarkable story of survival, courage, and hope. If you liked it, please give it a like, subscribe for more stories like this, and let us know in the comments what you'd like us to recap next. Until then, stay strong, stay brave, and we'll see you in the next video.